The Marxist paradigm is still evident today. You would think that after many millions of lives lost and failed attempts to create communist societies, that these ideas would be well and truly dead. Unfortunately, it seems our society has still not learned their lesson. Marxist views are more prevalent than ever on college campuses around the world, throughout traditional media, Hollywood, the arts, and popular culture. Marxist theory heavily influenced communist uprisings and revolutions, such as the Russian, Chinese, and Cuban revolutions, just to name a few. Here are some dangerous parallels I see infiltrating culture and politics today. Number 1, uniting people over fighting the power structure. Whereas Marxism traditionally was about economic class struggle against the capitalist oppressor, today the power relationship is based on identity politics. This new cultural Marxism sees certain minority groups as oppressed and other groups as being their oppressors. The axis of intersectionality taught in college campuses today describes this system or hierarchy of oppression. It is literally grouping people based on the colour of their skin, gender, sexual orientation, or religion as being either less or more deserving of rights than others. White, straight Christian males are considered the worst, most oppressive groups of people. Black, women, transgender, or Muslim peoples are the oppressed in our society. It has caused people to seek after victimhood status. It is the oppression Olympics. Why is this dangerous? The us and them mentality has proven itself dangerous throughout the history of mankind. This perpetuates hate as it divides people. When you group people based on superficial identities, you no longer see them as human, as having unique stories and experiences. You decide what you think about them based on these characteristics, with no time to learn their true character. During the Russian Revolution, for example, millions of intellects and economically advantaged were simply killed off just for being privileged, resulting in huge losses of life based only on one aspect of a person's identity. Number 2, censorship and media control. Free speech and free press are significant attributes of our democratic societies, but we are seeing more and more of our rights of free speech being taken away from us in the West. Simply stating facts can be called hate speech. Speaking out against identity politics and vocally not sharing its paradigm could see you banned from platforms such as Twitter or demonetized on YouTube. It can even be the reason you lose your job, as cases such as the Google employee James Damore or Brett Weinstein from Evergreen College has shown. I know coming out as a conservative, even in social circles, is one of the hardest things you can do at any social gathering. It is not the popular opinion. You have to be ready to defend your ideas more than any left-leaning person will. On TV, in papers and mass news outlets, people who speak out against cultural Marxist views are shouted down. They're not given adequate airtime, or interviews are cut down to fit the agenda of the leftist views. I also see heavily controlled movies, music, and cultural art constantly highlighting the oppressed and the oppressor paradigm. This is evident in past totalitarian societies throughout history. Just look at the way propaganda was used by the Nazis, the Russians, the Chinese, the Cubans, and even in North Korea today, all with the aim to completely control the views of a population. The media today keeps getting caught out for their lies, and thank goodness for outlets like YouTube today, where some facts are available through alternative media, even if they are demonetized for their views. Number 3, denial of facts and brainwashing. Denial of science and basic facts is a characteristic of a totalitarian society, especially when these beliefs influence lawmaking agendas. Some basic beliefs of the left you see today, despite the facts proving them wrong, are the gender pay gap is a result of oppression of women. All black people shot by police were innocent, and all police are inherently racist. Gender is based on your personal choice, and biology cannot prove that someone is a male or a female. This is feelings over facts. In order not to offend, we deny the science, the facts. The left commit intellectual suicide with their pseudo-science, all so they can look morally superior. Usually because people with the views in line with intersectionality and identity politics do not actually have any facts to back their ideas up, you'll find them just shouting hate, "You are racist, you're a Nazi," instead of involving themselves in a constructive dialogue or debate with people they disagree with. It is easy to yell and personally attack someone, claiming that you're offended rather than have to think through your ideas. The so-called safe spaces set up on campuses today ensure that if someone is offended or feels they're a victim, they can be protected in some way from the nasty words. Number 4, political indoctrination in education. Brainwashing on college campuses today is clear. It is also happening in schools. The gender studies courses being made as core components in most humanities, law, journalism and teaching degrees today is teaching students the intersectionality and cultural Marxist paradigm. It blames every cause of oppression on the patriarchy. It ridicules their own Western achievements of Christianity, the abolition of slavery, the Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution, and the successes of capitalism. It encourages white guilt when analysing their history. These courses teach students to identify systematic oppression in every area of their life. This historical ignorance of future generations will mean they will never truly understand the dangers of seeing the world as a power struggle. Their education is so biased and void of any real historical understanding that they will never realise that history is actually destined to repeat itself if viewing the world this way continues. Number 5, public shaming. This is becoming more and more evident today. The intimidation and demonization of people who speak out against the leftist systems is deplorable. Not only is this happening in traditional media, but also in a smaller way. An app made by Santa Cruz University called Micro Report allows students to anonymously report microaggressions they've experienced on the UC Santa Cruz campus. I cannot help but see some obvious parallels to totalitarian societies in the past and even today. This is one way that North Korea controls their citizens today, giving them many opportunities to report and public shame their neighbours, family members or friends when they speak out against the system. This happened in Hitler's Germany with the Gestapo spies and the encouragement of children to dob in their parents. Even in Orwell's fictional society, where Big Brother is always watching, citizens were encouraged to report any signs of crime. Orwell was warning of such totalitarian controls on people and what it can do to a society. It stifles free expression, art, and inevitably will control our freedom. Throughout history, all leftist ideals, when pushed to their limits, have become totalitarian societies. We all have a personal responsibility to seek out the facts, boycott fake news outlets, call out the media's lies, and listen to facts over feelings. It is only in seeking the truth through conversation, debate, and listening to others that our society can progress instead of regress.